Hustle and motivate. Choppers a throwaway. Hustle the overweight. That's why they follow me, huh? They think I know the way. Cause I took control of things. Ballin' the solo way. And if you pattern my trend, I make you my protege.
This last topic, and y'all can say it with me, it's a come on, yo. Alright, the last topic for this episode is that the Kings fired Mike Brown. And when I told Darren when they lost that game to the Detroit Pistons, I said, Darren, guess what's gonna happen tomorrow? Mike Brown gonna be fired. But it ain't gonna be a spot. And the next day, what happened? Mike Brown got fired. The man that led the Kings to their best record since the Chris Webber-led Kings. They made the playoffs in between like 06, but like their best record in a long time.
Lighten the beam.
He helped make them relevant again. They took a chance on him. And then they kind of regressed last year, but they were in the play-in, didn't make the playoffs.
Got to the number 3 seed.
Tough loss that at worst should have gone into overtime. At worst. Because there shouldn't have been a closeout to any. There shouldn't have been a closeout to any three-point shooter.
This felt a little bit shocking, Shams. What ultimately led to them deciding to move on from Mike Brown?
Let me just set the scene for you. Mike Brown on his way, other players, coaches on their way to the team plane in Sacramento. They were flying to Los Angeles for a game there this weekend against the Lakers. And that's when Mike Brown got the word that he was being fired. And then all the players, coaches, still on the plane waiting for the word on who the interim head coach will be. And it's going to be Doug Christie. He played 5 of his 15 NBA seasons in Sacramento. He's been assistant there since 2021-22. And now he becomes the interim head coach. 5 straight losses, 12 of the last 17 games lost by the Sacramento Kings. The organization felt like they just had thoroughly underperformed this season. This is a year that started off with grand expectations with De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis. You bring in Demar Derozan as a marquee free agent signing. This is not the season that they expected. And Mike Brown, you think about his tenure, 2023 Coach of the Year. He had back-to-back winning seasons as head coach, 107-88 record as head coach. He just signed a 3-year extension in June, and now 6 months later, just another Sacramento Kings coach fired.
I was going to say, I mean, it goes to show that it's a what have you done for me lately league. You mentioned that he was just coach of the year a cup of coffee ago, but Sacramento's not known for their long history of playoff success, and he led them to their first playoff appearance in 17 years. It's a bit shocking, but...
And this season, you had the same core players. I mean, you did trade away Harrison Barnes with DeRozan, but that's not act like you ain't got De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis and Malik Monk. And I be watching the games. It's not with Mike Brown be doing. It be what fucking De'Aaron Fox and them be doing. DeRozan not showing up.
What did I always tell you?
How you gonna blame it on Mike Brown?
What did I always tell you about the Duggan? KD and Westbrook was on there. He's never gonna win the championship. Said the same thing about the Kings, even back when DeMarcus Cousins was on there. Yeah. I think that's when De'Aaron Fox first started. After Rudy Gay and them was gone, and then when when Brogdon was on there too. Then after when they re-signed De'Aaron Fox, when
they are, when Buggy, Rudy Gay, and Isaiah Thomas all average 20 points.
I'm like, the Kings ain't never gonna be real good.
Yeah. Wait, before you go on that,
De'Aaron Fox is great. He's good. He's awesome.
Michael Malone even went off about it. He's like, he's not surprised about it because he said he got fired by that same person. He said when they win, Fox and Sabonis gonna get the credit. When you lose, Mike Brown gonna get the blame.
Yeah, awful. And the reason I say that, Matt, is so we're going into a meeting this afternoon, and the good thing about me is that I'm not on social media. I'm not aware of what's going on outside these walls sometimes. I've had an office with no windows for 10 years and probably taken off 6 years of my life. And I go into the meeting and the coaches say, "You hear about Mike Brown?" And I said, "Why? What happened?" They said he got fired. And at first I was really shocked and surprised. Then I caught myself. So why am I shocked and surprised? For 2 reasons. One, because as an NBA head coach, ultimately you're going to get the blame. When they win, it's going to go to Sabonis and Fox. When you lose, it's going to go to Mike Brown. That's the way it works. And 2, who he works for. So I'm not surprised that Mike Brown got fired, because I got fired by the same person. And what really pissed me off about it was the fact that they lost last night, 5th game in a row, I believe. Tough loss. fouling a jump shooter. They had practice this morning. He does his post-game media, and he's in his car going to the airport to fly to LA, and they call him on the phone. No class, no balls. That's what I'll say about that. Thanks, everybody.
Disappointment for sure. The timing of it, us having played them and then coming back here where he and I worked together. He was my dad's video coordinator here. It's just disappointing to see. Mike is one of the most classy guys that we have in our profession. He's one of the brightest coaches that we have in our profession. Just as a human being, period, he's one of the best people that I know. I'll echo Mike Malone's comments. The way that it was handled was classless. When Mike, pours himself into his job like he does, he deserves better than that. You can make whatever decision you want to make. We understand that. But the way you treat human beings matters. And it's extremely disappointing to see, a coach, a guy that you care about, a guy that you know how good and talented he is, be treated that way. And it's disappointing that, people wouldn't have the thought to treat people as human beings and show them the respect that they deserve, knowing the sacrifices that coaches make, from their families, their personal health, everything, that Mike has done for that team and that organization. I just thought it was shitty, to be honest with you, the way it was handled.
They even shot something on NBA TV the other day. I think it was Lou Williams was on that, and he was talking about it, saying there was some trouble in the background, like the players and Mike Brown wasn't on the same page.
I mean, that's always the thing.
Some Mark Jackson type stuff, the Warriors.
They pick between the players or the coach.
That's always the thing motherfuckers like to bring up to take the accountability out for the players because they are the investments. It's always easy to change out a coach. And I gotta 100% agree with everything y'all saying. Mike Brown brought them back from, like I said, 2 playoff appearances in the last 18 years since Webber and Page left. And
Kevin Martin,
like I said, for them, for them to have like a top 4 seed through most of the season last year, and they still had to bring back the same core. And like Top said, switch out Harrison for the Debo. Debo was an all-star. Harrison had like 1 all-star appearance in that bitch.
He never made all-star.
Debo was an all-star.
From what I understand, it just ran its course very fast and surprisingly. This was a team who we all had and still have high hopes for, and they fell short of those expectations under his leadership. And that happens, and that's no slight to his pedigree as a coach. Players get traded for a lack of a fit. Coaches aren't immune to that, So I'm hearing there was just some pushback from how De'Aaron Fox was continuously being singled out, whether it was publicly or behind the scenes, or the players just didn't agree with that sentiment, or I was even hearing whispers that there was a situation where he might have asked, or suggested that even Demar Derozan come off the bench, and those things proved to be severe missteps in an already challenging season, where it put the front office in a position where they had to side with either the all-star talent they had or to part ways with their former coach of the year, who had a brand new 3-year extension. And ultimately they chose to go with the players. And that made Mike Brown a casualty of that. Could they have handled it differently the way that he was fired? That's not my call to make. A lot of coaches and a lot of different people are coming out in support of how it was handled. But this was just a classic example of, a coach losing the locker room and not being on the same page with his players. And, at the end of the day, the players were, who management chose to side with.
Debo is an all-star, but I got to agree with them. I feel like the person with the accountability and the person that's not really doing what he's supposed to do on a consistent basis is De'Aaron Fox. When I look at the team, I feel like Debo is fitting in the way he's supposed to. He knows he's a star, but he knows it's not his team. Mm-hmm. He wanted to come to California because it's where he's from. So he had multiple California teams to choose from. Now picking this might have been the best option because of the core they already had. I look at Sabonis who's always consistent. I look at Malik Monk. When you give him the time, Malik Monk is Malik Monk.
Scoring and assist.
And then, like I said, I don't really put it on Debo because there's times when Debo scores 20, 25, and there's times when Debo only got 10, but he only shot 7 shots.
Yeah, I be noticing that too.
And we know Debo's never been a rebounder. He's never been a nigga to pass the ball. He shoot first. So, this is nothing I haven't seen from Debo in 15 years. But when I look at the De'Aaron Fox, De'Aaron Fox, we try to give him so much credit over the years. What is the main thing we've always said about De'Aaron Fox in the last 10 years? His speed. And I'm starting to feel like the only thing that separates De'Aaron Fox a lot of times for a lot of these other all-star point guards is not his skill or his talent. Because to me, he's starting to show that his best skill and talent is only his speed, not his actual basketball IQ or intel. Because he can be a motherfucker that can give you 23 points in the first half and not have any other fucking stat. And then come out, and if he's shooting bad, then you just got a star that's just taking up space and minutes on the floor because he's not going to do any fucking thing else. If he gets you a rebound, it's because it's a long bounce. If he get you assists, it's because he got double teamed. It's not because he's a point guard that's trying to get the rest of his team involved. So I got to agree with them. I feel like De'Aaron Fox is the part, is the main reason why there's no more Mike Brown in Sacramento.
Yeah, like you were saying, that's what they basically were saying. Oh,
and another thing, Lee Williams was saying that it was a suggestion that Mike Brown probably wanted DeRozan to come off the bench. And to me, this kind of go back to Westbrook and Lakers situation.
You motherfuckers be entitled.
Because with DeRozan coming over there, it looked like it's supposed to be a big three with Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox, but something just ain't clicking right.
But like you said, a lot of times you watch games, Debo be only having like 6 shots.
It's like the same shit in Phoenix. And this big three is not working right. And DeRozan definitely should be taking more shots. But I don't know what mindset DeRozan got. Did he want to come over
and
there?
That's the
like
thing.
you said,
like I'm a year old, I'm like 34, 35 now.
Let me take a back seat to them.
And that's the thing.
And because already know they had Malik Monk coming into his own since he came out the Lakers back to the Kings the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Malik Monk was on averaging between 15 and 20 points per game. So yeah, he probably didn't want to take away from him.
Yeah. And that's the thing, and I agree with Darren. My thing is, as far as them, when you look at it, fucking like you said, where's DeRozan's head at? Because in my head, if I'm 14, 50 years in, I'm a former champion, I'm a former 6-7 time All-Star, and I know what I can bring to a table. While I want to take a step back, I know I'm running out of years in this shit where I can be my best. So at the same time, he's probably conflicted because he knows it's not his team, but he know what he can do, and he don't want to overtake nobody. So while a lot of star players like DeRozan's probably looking at the coach to be the guy to set things in place, like you said, shit ain't working out right. At the same time, it can't just be on the coach. The coach can only do so much with other grown-ass men that got personalities. It comes from all three of those stars coming together and letting go of all their egos and saying, all right, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. Because it can work. It only doesn't work when the ego gets in the way. And I feel like that's what's happening on Phoenix. The ego's getting in the way because we all know who Kevin Durant is. Kevin Durant don't give a fuck. Kevin Durant gonna be Kevin Durant. I feel like Booker is the only nigga that's really try. And Bale, I feel like Bale has always been the biggest bluff his whole career. I try not to do that because when he can score, he can score. The nigga basically almost won fucking scoring title one year. And it's like for you to be around all this talent and you always injured. And you, to me, you De'Aaron Fox sometimes is if you're not scoring, what the fuck are you doing? They not doing much. So to me, it really comes back around to that star. How the fuck do you even get to the level where we called you an all-star at one point, and now you can't even let your ego down to blend in with other stars to do what you gotta do? Because what happened when we got Bosh, Wade, and LeBron? We knew what LeBron was gonna be, but LeBron bluffed, and when LeBron bluffed, he went to Wade and was like, "Take over, bro," and he fell back. And Bosh already came into the situation like, I'm CB4.
Already prepared,
I'm Toronto Raptors all-time scorer, but he took a step
still averaging 18 and 9
and
again.
I feel like the biggest part of these big threes of the last 5 years is the ego. I don't feel like it's never the coach. I feel like it's the ego. It's always one player that hasn't figured his ego out, and it's De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, I heard what he said.
You see Westbrook on the Nuggets now.
He's finally figured it out. Remember, at first it was the Lakers, then it was the Clippers, and then he finally figured out.
You know why it works?
Around a team.
You know why it works? Because he's playing with Nikola Jokic.
Yeah, Westbrook, like, later on my years, I'm like, this ain't my team, but I'm on the team now.
Remember, Jokic is the one. Jokic is the one that wanted Westbrook.
And I can see Jokic taking Westbrook out and them having they talk as grown men and say, you know, Jokic, you know what I can do. I watched you my whole career, yo. And he probably instilled that confidence. I know you old. I know people don't believe in you anymore. But don't forget, you're Russell Westbrook, the all-time leader in triple-double. Be Russell Westbrook.
And look what he's doing.
This is the first time I haven't seen this Russell Westbrook since the Washington Wizards. Westbrook is back, and he's coming off the bench doing it. Which means you ain't got to play 38, 40 minutes to beat Westbrook.
He started
beat Westbrook in 25 minutes. And that's what you're doing because you got the ego going. You know that these motherfuckers actually got your back. Your star came to you and got your back. And I feel like DeRozan, fucking De'Aaron, and Sabonis need to get together and tell.
I'm glad y'all said it about it because that's what makes Russ a perfect fit with them.
Because Sabonis is a pass first person.
Yeah.
He only
and we trying to figure out why the point guard not.
And want to. Sabonis is more of a point guard than De'Aaron.
Exactly. That's all we trying to figure out.
Sabonis is like Jokic.
And that's why I'm saying.
But
that's why I'm half and half with you. With the Debo, they used to say, no, Debo don't fucking need to come off no bench. But none of them niggas. That's why De'Aaron Fox needs to figure out how to get the fucking together.
When they first did the trade, it worked for both teams the first time.
Yeah.
But now both teams not looking so good.
I feel like,
and let's not forget that. Remember, the Kings chose De'Aaron Fox over Tyrese Halliburton.
I feel like
even though it did make them better because they got Sabonis.